You're now listening to Off the Collar, powered by Backswing Golf Events.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Off the Collar. It's your host, Nick Johnson.
And Shelby Brockmuller.
And thank you guys again for tuning in. We have a very cool episode, a different episode, a lot of planning and editing and all the things that you want in a cool podcast are in this episode. It was kind of a joint effort, actually kind of a joke, but basically we had a buddy of mine, Harry Rudolph III, on the podcast during his practice rounds at the U.S. Senior Open, which I'm pretty confident we are the only podcast out there doing that. So hopefully we're starting new trends. But it was definitely a cool experience to see how he's been going through the works, and was lucky enough to get into the U.S. Open. So picked his brain for a little bit. Yeah, it was really fun. But Shelby, how's the move going? Are you getting like a little better settled in?
Yeah, so we're pretty settled in. We finally got some blinds on the windows. I felt like I was living in a fishbowl for a little while. I had to literally stack pillows against the window because I was extremely unprepared for this move, apparently.
So you didn't have like, they didn't come with blinds at all. You just had a open window.
So our house is a new build and I had to create a blind out of my pillows.
Oh my god. It does not sound like you were prepared for this move at all.
No, absolutely not. I definitely was not prepared. I just kind of was winging it the whole time.
Was it just like what app did you, was it just like a Tinder swipe right and then it said you bought this house, and then
basically bought it online and then just showed up one day?
What would be the real estate Tinder equivalent be called? What would that app be called? Would it still be called Tinder? Because it's like wood and
maybe. That's a good question. We'll have to come up with that. That'll be our side business.
I actually had the thought today, if you made like a Tinder but for job postings, how that would look. It'd almost be too cartoony. It's almost like those back in the day. It's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you see like doctor, and you see like train conductor, or like random careers,
random things. Police officer, fireman.
You're right. Astronaut.
And you're like, you don't even qualify for this.
You don't have the prereq. Though you swipe, you do not have the prereq for this. Or oh my god, there's a version there. I'm sure someone's gonna steal this idea. 2070, it'll be an app that we see on our mobile screens, surgically attached to our face.
I want all the credit.
Oh, dude, there's like a little spider right here.
Funny you say that, because our house is almost infested with spiders. I think it's because when they built the home, that it was on like an empty lot, and we basically took their home. Now they're trying to take their home back. So, and I have probably counted 100 spiders in this house. I'm actually looking at one now. There was another one up there and it's gone, so that's more concerning.
So are you one of those that will just go ahead and like kill it, or you put it in a cup and take it outside?
I used to vacuum them up, but now I just put them in a napkin and then I squish them. I would let them outside, but they're just going to come back in, you know?
Right. That's the logic, sure.
So I'm like, I don't know if I want to let you back outside.
Yeah. I was on fly patrol today. I think I killed 3 flies. They're just, it's kind of fun. So my parents, their house, they redid it like maybe 6 months ago or something.
Hmm.
Where they have this huge, like, I think you call it a foyer, where it, like, the wall opens up to the
Yep.
backyard. It's like a sliding door in multiple parts. So it really opened up the living room, and now there's a patio, and it's super cool. But there's nothing to guard against bugs just flying in.
Yeah.
So now they're just part of the family, and and I was working on some Mr. Miyagi wax on, wax off shit, trying to just like whip them with the towel, and
Yep.
um,
You're on
I,
bug
I have
duty.
I have some training from. I know you think I have no training in removing bugs, but I do. We do have bugs here, just not the kind that you need spray for.
Yeah, we need all kinds of spray. I literally sprayed the outside of the house with the stuff. You probably don't even have this, but it's like in a jug and it comes with a sprayer attached, and you have to
Yep.
spray the outside. And I think when I did that, I like trapped them all inside because now they can't get outside. I think that's legit what I did because they're all inside
Oh
now.
my god, the struggles of trying to be an adult.
Yeah, I don't recommend to anybody out there. Do not, don't do it.
Uh, it's so much easier just to not.
It's so much easier to just not. Simply
Oh my
don't.
goodness. Well, they're good problems to have. Um, I guess
Yeah.
there's worse problems to
There
have.
are worse problems, I will
There's worse
say.
problems to have. So I didn't ask, like, is it a home? Like, what's the square footage? Like, give me some
Yeah.
of the Trulia
The
tidbits.
details. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 4 bedrooms, 2 baths.
Mm.
Um, I think it's almost 1,700 square feet. And it's honestly super nice. It's a new build. It didn't come with like ceiling fans and blinds for some reason. They'll
Mm.
pay for everything else. Like it's got granite countertops. It's got like all the light fixtures you need, but no ceiling fans for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel
but
like
it's just north
if
of
you were
Tampa.
I feel like if you were maybe, ready for the move, you would have had that installed before
Yeah,
you
I
got.
didn't know that was a thing to not include a ceiling fan or blinds. So,
Well,
but it's a new build. Maybe that's why. I don't know. I don't know how this works. This is all
yeah.
new to me. I don't even know how to make my mortgage payment. So we'll
Well,
figure out that later.
baby steps. Figure out how to pay for where you live.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. I'm just giving you a hard time because I'm jealous. But yeah, it's a big move. I'm stoked for you. Is my room ready yet, or is it
Yeah.
still okay?
It's right over there, actually.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Just I like a chocolate on my pillow every morning,
Okay.
and
Noted. Do you like the Andes mints?
oh, Annie's mints. Yes, those
Yes.
are
Okay. We'll
those are
keep one on your pillow.
dangerous. You have
It'll be your
one, and
nighttime snack.
I'm a I'm definitely like a mint fan. Anything with mint on it, like
Yeah.
mint chocolate chip ice cream,
Yep.
like anything like that. I had a Was it a coffee? Oh no, it was a tea. I went to this like Mediterranean restaurant, and they had a tea with like a really fresh mint leaf in it, and I just love the
Ooh.
smell of mint. It was really, really good.
I heard that gets rid of mosquitoes.
Does it? Maybe you
Like if
should
you
grab a
plant
bunch of
peppermint.
mosquitoes.
I know. Just plant it in
Um,
my yard.
since we're on the topic, I'll give you a. Well, I have two stories that you made me think of. One is the meme of the 20-year-old kid that just moved into his first house. And
Yep.
then the other one is I had a raccoon problem at my last residence. So I'll tell you that story real quick. That's to this day one of the most mind blowing things, and you can give me your opinion on it. But the first one, so it's I call them a meme, but it's like just an Instagram post, right? Like a funny,
Yeah.
I don't know, anecdote type account or something. But it's just a text exchange between, I think it was either like a mom or dad and a son that just got his first like apartment by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I think of it, it might have been like his older brother, because it had a tone of like he was asking his older brother, how many times do you clean your oven? He's like, oh, I don't know, like, you know, every 6 months or so.
Yeah.
And the 20-year-old goes like, are you serious? I do it like every night. It's like, every night? What are you doing? He was putting the food right onto the grill, just like if he was like barbecuing. So
Like,
it was,
didn't have any pans?
no, there's no
Oh my
pans, there's no
God.
nothing. So all the, he's making like a steak or something, and it's just like dripping to the bottom of the oven.
I mean, yeah, you would have to clean your oven every night
Yeah.
if you did it that
So
way.
whoever he was texting was like, wait, you're actually just putting it straight on the grill? He's like, yeah. It's like, I'm tweeting this right away. So
That is so funny.
that one's pretty good. What was the other one? The raccoon story?
Raccoons.
Yeah. So in San Diego, when I used to live here, I lived in like a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, or sorry, it was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, but it's pretty small. It was like one of those beach type houses, very close to the ocean. Like I could fall out of my bed and be in the water, but it was very small. So it's like, you're paying for the location type of a place, right? And I shared a patio, like a decently sized outdoor patio, with my neighbors next door. Like it's literally like a wall splits us, and our areas are mirror images, like an L shape on both sides. So, and hopefully my neighbors never listen to this podcast. But basically, I'll sugarcoat it a little bit. I didn't get along with my neighbors too well. They were a little strange for my liking, to the point where we lived on top of a nursery, like a plant nursery. So we would always have like random bugs and creatures, and we had a family of raccoons. And my neighbor, specifically one guy, would love to like pick it up, like, and play with it. Yeah, he would send me pictures. Yeah, he would send me pictures of like him basically treating it like a pet. And I'm like, dude, this is this is why they come and hang around, because you're like interacting. And they had a cat, so they would eat the cat's food, like the raccoons would eat the cat's food. So it was 100% in my mind, like they weren't helping the situation, at least.
No, they're definitely making it 10 times worse.
Yeah. So at one point I had looked up, how do I get rid of raccoons? And you were saying like mint might get rid of bugs. I found somewhere that it said garlic would get rid of raccoons. And I think stupidly I had like frozen garlic in the fridge. You ever get those packs? Like they're already cut? No? Okay. Well, there's I've lived by myself for like 5 or 6 years. You learn these tricks, so I'll make a list for you. But that's
okay. I appreciate that.
Frozen garlic, and they're already chopped up, so it's like if you ever need it, it's there. Secret hack to all you guys out there: secret like stash of onions and garlic, and you can just buy them at packs, and they're already cut up. Anyway, so my brain goes, that's the only place I have garlic. Let's take those and throw them out onto the patio. But I think they were so frozen that they didn't have any aroma. Like I should have broken them up.
Yeah.
But
you definitely should have.
My dumbass brain was like, let's just toss them out there. So that didn't work. And I resorted to throwing golf shoes at them. That was
Seems like a good way to do that. Garlic didn't work, so let's throw golf shoes.
Yeah. So if anybody has seen my apartment, they know I have a huge golf shoe collection just from years of being at Puma. So it's quite often like the easiest thing to reach out for.
Yep. You just reminded me of how many shoes that I have. when we were moving, I had 3 like extra large boxes of just shoes. And then I had shoes in storage from moving from college. And then I had like bags that I normally wear. So I bought this like shoe rack for the back of my door, and it holds 36 shoes. I put 36 top to bottom, just tennis shoes, just straight tennis shoes. That doesn't include golf shoes or anything. And then I have a smaller rack for like sandals and like nicer shoes that I rarely wear. Obviously, I wear a lot of tennis shoes. And then I have like my shitty yard shoes that I wear just because. And I was like, this is becoming excessive. I may need to see a counselor for this.
No, I appreciate the shoe hustle. Like,
oh yeah,
I'm a sneakerhead for sure. Well, it kind of helped that I worked for a shoe company.
Yeah, that does help.
I always tell people is like, if I worked at Kentucky Fried Chicken, I'd probably be eating chicken every night. So
you would,
it's
for sure.
But I was like, we had an employee discount. I was also on the testing team for our footwear team because I was size 9. I don't know if you ever knew that, but sample size is size 9 for pretty much any men's shoe.
Interesting.
Yeah, if you go to like Foot Locker, anything on the shelves are usually size 9. Sneakerhead knowledge. So they would give me basically like for the testing stuff, I'd have 1 to 2 pairs a month and test them out for durability and feel, blah, 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 whatever. And most of the time they wouldn't make me return them because they've already, they take pictures and they take pictures and I give them my feedback and then I'd keep them. So, and I did that for 5 years. So
jeez,
you can imagine that.
Do the math and you're like, huh?
Yeah, it picks up quite quickly. And then the suede, like the casual Puma shoe that everyone knows. Those were $26 a pop. So with our discount. So that's definitely like most of my shoes because they were just so easy to say yes to.
Yeah, you're like, I'll take them all. Thank you.
Can I get one in every color? Is there a meme like that too? I like it so much I got the same color, or I'll get it in a different color. However that goes. But yeah, I'm all about the sneakers. I've been trying to dumb it down, but I think I might have you beat, unfortunately, on the amount of shoes.
It sounds like you do.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I have no more room for shoes.
Well, I was about to give you a hidden gem. I'm just full of gems right now. There's a purchase I made on Amazon it's a shoe, like you have to put it together and it's a bunch of PVC pipe type things. But I think it holds like 60 pairs. And it has like different section, like you can customize the sections so you can put in like longer shoes or like for me high tops. For you it'd probably be like boots or something, but or like
I also have a lot of pairs of boots.
There you go.
I have like 6 to 8 pairs of just cowboy boots in my closet, and I'm like, I can't even put those on a rack, so they're just gonna sit here. I'm like,
I haven't made the boot purchase.
No,
I don't think I can pull it off. Like straight on like cowboy boots. No,
I love definitely my cowboy boots.
Definitely not.
Them all the time. Go to Tennessee and I think they're like buy one get 3 free or something, or buy 2 get 3 free or something like that. It's something outrageous.
I don't even need 1 pair, so I don't see the point of getting.
I think it's buy 2 get 3 free. I'm pretty sure.
Oh my goodness, I'm good.
It's quite a deal.
I have like an Austin-ish hat, and that was about as far as I was gonna take it. I think if I go like full on with the boots and everything and the buckle, I just look like. Have you seen that movie Nope? With like,
sure have.
Yeah, I'm gonna look like that Asian guy that gets swallowed whole by the monster. And it's not a good look. I'm not trying to.
It's not a good look.
I'm not trying to say it's a bad
your
look
style.
in general. It's just I can't pull it off. Which I actually, what's funny is so this happened. I bought Birkenstocks like when I moved to Austin for a couple reasons, but main reason is my sister loves them, so I took her advice and got a pair, and they're not so cheap. Little asterisks, but when I was trying them on, I have a pretty decent, like, I think, sense of style for myself. And I was trying them on. I'm like, these are not my style. Like, I don't like how these look. You know, they just look, I'm a sneakerhead. Like, this is just weird. Yeah. I don't know. But I bought them because my sister's like, oh, you know, once they break in, you love them, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's like, they are comfortable.
I have a couple pair.
Yeah, I think girls can pull them off fine.
You know what we call them?
What?
Jerusalem Cruisers.
Okay, elaborate, please.
Because they look like Jesus sandals.
They do look like
Jerusalem
Jesus sandals. So, point of the story is I come to San Diego with my Birkenstocks.
How did that go over?
My dad sees them and is like, "Really? Birkenstocks?" And I was like, "Yeah, you know, what do you think of them?" He's like, "I have failed you as a father." I was like, "That's a little drastic," but you basically saying that I can't pull them off. And then my aunt said the same thing when we met up with her later on, that I can't pull them off.
I'm so disappointed.
So disappointed.
I was digging them.
I mean, I don't know how much I was digging them. They are definitely Jesus pieces. Like they're
baby Jesus pieces.
I'm not hiding it at all. They are great though if you need to go take the trash out or like, you know.
Oh yeah, they're perfect. Let the dog out.
Quick slip it on. Quick slip and slide. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know if that term works in the same context.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But you got what I was saying. Well, should we get on to this week's episode, Shelby? What do we think?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. This is going to be the walk-on podcast with Harry Rudolph III at the U.S. Open, U.S. Senior Open. I keep doing that. But let's check out the rest of the episode. Ooh. Should I just animate it that way? All right, we got a cool episode for you guys this week. Thank you guys for tuning in to Off the Collar. We are doing our first on-course Senior Open edition with Harry Rudolph III. I've never actually called you Harry Rudolph III. I think I've always just called you Harry or H or asshole, I guess.
Yeah, I don't remember you ever calling me Harry Rudolph III.
sounds more official that way.
Yeah, exactly. Official. You just need to do that in the intro. After that, you're good. H is good.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for joining us, H. It was cool that we could get you on the podcast. For our listeners out there, where are you right now?
On the driving range here, we're at SentryWorld, U.S. Senior Open, Stevens Point, Wisconsin. I don't know if you know where that is, but we're about a couple hours from Green Bay, a couple hours from Milwaukee, a couple hours from Madison, Wisconsin. So we're up here kind of in, I guess you'd call it central Wisconsin. And they just reopened this golf course. They kind of remodeled it. Trent Jones course remodeled. It's been closed the last couple of years, and you can see kind of some lodge. They built the new building, some lodge, restaurant. There is a lodge on the other side of the 18th hole back there somewhere that it's kind of like a stay and play now destination golf course. So it's really cool up here.
Very cool. I just watched a couple of videos of the court. It looks like it's immaculate. And it makes sense they just redid everything. Pretty famous for, was it hole 16 we went through earlier, where there's just a huge flower field. It looks like, right? They must spend a lot of time on that.
A lot of time, a lot of money. That's their signature hole. It kind of comes back towards the clubhouse. It's beautiful par three. It's almost like an island green, but instead of water, it's surrounded by flowers, and it's really beautiful. So they've got nice corporate tents kind of set up around that hole, and that's going to be probably a pretty exciting hole this week, is what I would imagine, just with the location kind of close to the clubhouse, and it's actually really close to the 18th green as well, probably less than 100 yards from the 18th green. So I would expect a lot of people to be around that green.
Very cool. It's yeah, the video, I mean, whoever did the video for their course needs to get high praise, because it looks, every piece of grass looks perfect. I mean, it looked fake from what I was watching. The yardage on the card looks like it was just over 71. Is that what you guys are playing it, or is it going to be a little longer?
I don't think they'll go more than 71. I don't know what the yardage is for sure. I believe they converted one par 5 into a par 4. So we're going to play that one at 505, which is pretty long for senior championship. There's a couple other, there's got to be at least 4 others that are 450 or more. So 7,000, 71. But the USGA, the last couple of years that I've played in the Senior Open, they mix it up too. They'll move around tee boxes. They'll make a long hole shorter. They'll make a par 3. They might move it up 50 yards one day, and so they mess around with the yardages quite a bit. But if they want to put it back, it'll be a good test of golf for everybody. It's going to be tough.
We saw how they tricked up LACC a couple weeks ago, so I imagine they're gonna follow suit. USGA is known for making it a tough test for sure. This is your third Open in a row, a couple in a row.
Yeah, played 3 in a row. So the only 3 that I've been eligible for, I've been able to qualify. Each time I've had to go through a local qualifier. 2 years ago was Omaha Country Club. Last year was called Saucon Valley, which was in Allentown, PA, and then this year SentryWorld. So they've been pretty good experiences. Very similar setups and grasses. I think this is bent grass fairways. It's super tight, like really, really tight. Mm-hmm. And then I think it's bluegrass or something in the rough, and it's super lush and long, and it's pretty thick. I mean, they know how to grow grass up here. So it's
how many USGA events have you think you've played over your career?
Oh man, I played US Junior, I played US Amateur, played the US Mid Amateur, I played the USGA Men's State Team Championship. I don't think they have that anymore.
I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, that one. They used to be 4-man teams from every state, and then you'd compete. I think that one's gone. I think I don't know what tournament they replaced that with, but that one's gone. And then US Senior Open. So however many of those that is, I don't know. Most of them.
Except pretty long list. Yeah. Well, we've been for our listeners out there, we've been friends. Well, you're more a mentor to me since I was really little. We were both at La Jolla Country Club in San Diego. And I definitely want to have you on for a little bit more of a interview. Maybe we do a reaction to this video, in fact, and just talk about your tenure over the last couple of years. I know you grew up in La Jolla at La Jolla Country Club. It was I'm interested to see how things have changed from that time to when I was going through it and trying to play professionally. And we've all been, everyone here, you see in our group chats, we have, for our listeners out there, we have a group chat with like 20 guys from La Jolla, something like that. And we're always pulling for you. And the last, I mean, you've been on a really solid run the last couple of weeks. So we're excited to see how this tournament ends up for you. We were able to follow a couple holes, like 12 through 16, something like that earlier.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll show some of that footage. We got Ernie out there with you, a couple of your fans. Yeah. But why don't, for the time being,
was out there. Bob was out there with us too.
Yeah, definitely in some good company. We'll show those clips here in a second, but why don't we go through a little bit of a range sesh with you, H, and talk us through kind of what you're working on for this week.
Yeah, you got it. Just kind of getting here. I actually went into the trailer and just had them, do a little stretching. So I ended up only playing 9 holes today. Played 18 yesterday. Kind of at this point, you're kind of trying to conserve energy and just get ready for tomorrow. I've got a late tee time tomorrow. So right now on the range session, it's pretty much like a wind down session, if you will. I'm not really trying to ramp up and hit a ton of balls. I'll hit some wedges, I'll hit a few drivers, maybe try to duplicate a couple shots that I know I'll have to hit tomorrow, and then I'll just kind of call it a day, just kind of try to lock in some feels that I've been working on, and that's it. If it's 10 minutes or it's 40 minutes, I don't really know. It's kind of once I just kind of feel like my body's moving right and I'm hitting some shots that I want to hit and see, and then I'll just shut it down and rest up for tomorrow. So just kind of getting started. Like I said, I went in and got stretched out, and we'll see. Maybe I'm moving better. I don't really know. They're pretty good at stretching in there. So keeping things moving is important this week. For us, a lot of people who maybe watch Champions Tour golf, it's typically 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and no cut. You're walking and whatnot, but you could take carts in the practice rounds and the pro-ams and stuff like that. But here at a USGA event in this major, in the practice rounds, you can't take a cart, so you're walking a lot more than normal. So as the week progresses, guys, it wears on your body, whether people think it's easy to walk or not, it wears on you a little bit. So, day 3 today of walking around and practicing and be on your feet, and then moving into tomorrow. So it's important to kind of get off your feet here soon for me, and then just kind of prep for tomorrow.
Right. I mean, it's something that maybe not a lot of viewers pay attention to, is that you're actually playing like 6 days of the week, right? And in preparation. I mean, maybe even
walking,
7 days.
Yeah, 7 and walking. I finished. Well, if you really look at it, last week in New York, it was prep Monday, Tuesday, Pro-Am Wednesday, Pro-Am Thursday. I played Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I flew here Monday, prepped. I came to the golf course and practiced and played Monday afternoon, and then practiced round yesterday, today. So you're walking and playing, not just this week 7 days in a row, but last week 7 days in a row. And so
Right.
it's a matter of managing all of that to just make sure that your body's moving the right way, feeling the right way, you're rested, and things like that. So you're right. I don't think a lot of people really look at that kind of wear and tear week in and week out. If not, I'll have maybe 2 days off after this tournament, and then I'm going to play another 3-day tournament, and then I have a British Open qualifier right after that. So I'm still going hard from here until July 10th, which is 14 days here of golf. So I might have a day off. Hopefully, assuming I play well and play the weekend here, I'll have a day off, from now until July 10th.
Are you going, full on ice bath when you get back to the hotel room, or what are we doing? I've seen a few guys getting into the ice plunge game, but I do know. I think when I was in Dallas, I had spoken to a trainer you started working with. I think he was doing some chiropractic stuff.
Yeah.
Have you dove into some of that stuff on the recovery side?
With the USGA here, they have some pretty good recovery. I haven't tapped into all of it. They have some of the Normatec for your legs for recovery. They don't have any ice baths here. They do have an oxygen chamber if you want to hop in there and do that kind of recovery. I did just chose stretching today. I will not fill up my bathtub with ice tonight. I would probably, if I could just go plunge somewhere for a little bit, I probably would. Maybe I'll check into that, see what, we're in Wisconsin. Usually they just cut a hole in the ice and jump in, but this time of year it's pretty nice. So
no ice fishing in your future.
I don't see it around here. Not right now. It's actually beautiful up here. They got a lot of lakes, and 4th of July coming up, they're gonna have a lot of parties on the lakes and boating and things like that. So, but no, not like that. Maybe I'll probably be on a constant diet of ibuprofen this week just to manage some aches and pains, so that'll be about it.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to come out and watch you in Dallas, and it was interesting. You guys are playing a heck of a lot of golf and still having to recover. And I'm sure it's even tougher as you get, more mileage on. But what I found interesting, and maybe it's different at the US Open, but there wasn't a lot of like launch monitors or TrackMan or anything out there. Would you say that Champions Tour is more field driven than
Yeah,
maybe the lower ranks?
you probably didn't see it there too much. I'm going to start hitting some balls while we're talking. You may not have seen it there too much. The wind is blowing down there a lot. But like I'm looking down the range right now, I see one TrackMan. Well, I only see one TrackMan. But if you go on, like you say, if you go on the PGA Tour, you're probably going to see one TrackMan in every stall, right? Or a quad or something.
Right. Something.
So yeah, a little bit less. I mean, we're in a generation that just didn't grow up with that, right? So it's not part of
Right.
our maybe our makeup, and you probably have some swings that are maybe a little more homemade, as opposed to on the PGA Tour nowadays, and with everything that people learn at such a young age, and with TrackMan, you're looking at your numbers, just constantly every shot. You're almost like the kids seem to be addicted to it. You just hit a shot, and you look at your number. You hit a shot, you look at your number. That's kind of what they do. But
Yep.
there are still quite a few. There are definitely some TrackMans, quads, and now you're starting to see the full swing monitor. I've been messing around with the full swing monitor a little bit. It's been really good. It's a little smaller, so it's easier to carry around.
Mm-hmm.
That's been kind of nice. That's kind of what you see.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely, from our conversations, it feels like you guys are a little bit more concerned with flights and windows and turf interaction. Like I know last week you were kind of messing around with some wedges, and did you change anything for the turf this week?
I did. It's a little bit different than last week, so I've kind of gone back to more of my gamers and my wedges. The rest of my bag pretty much stayed the same, with the exception of my driver. I cut my shaft down a half an inch this week. I figured just trying to prioritize accuracy over length. So I cut that down a
For
half
sure.
an inch. I've added a degree of loft to my driver, same reason. Trying to go with accuracy over length. That's really about the only makeup or the changes that I made. But still, there are definitely changes. So you're trying to accommodate for what we're going to find here. So fairways, because the rough is so penal here, the fairways are a premium. You're
Right.
literally going to be chipping out on some of these holes. I hit one shot today. I think I was 80 yards from the green. I normally hit my 50-degree wedge 120 yards. Full swing. It might have got 4 feet off the ground and traveled like 40 yards. I mean, it went nowhere. So there's going to be stuff like that just you're going to have to hit a good wedge shot or a chip shot or something and make a 6, 7, 8 footer for par. If you're going to have a good score here.
Right.
So, on a long golf course like this, you wouldn't think your wedge game would be important. And that's kind of why I'm hitting some wedges here at the end of the day, just to dial that in, because at some point I'm going to have to get up and down from 100 yards for a par,
Right.
So that's kind of what I'm trying to work on.
And for our listeners out there, you don't have any issues with length. I mean, you've never really been able to outdrive me very often, but in terms of out there,
yeah, I mean,
you're one of the longer guys out there, right? So especially for this week, accuracy is really important.
Yeah, I mean, come to think of it, I'm having a hard time remembering the last time you did outdrive me. But for a 53-year-old guy, I'm able to keep it up with you and some of the other young guys at the club. But no, I would probably be in the top 10 out here in terms of driving distance. Conservatively, probably 280 to 300 would be off the tee, depending on the conditions.
All right. And then you also put in, was it a 7 wood, 9 wood, something easier to hit it in the greens?
Seven wood for sure. Chopping out of the rough. I might need it on one par three, and that's kind of it. It's almost like a utility club out of the rough to get just to chop it down the fairway, get it to
Gotcha.
advance or lay up on a par five or something like that.
Yeah. Do you know pretty much now when you see a lie how far you can advance it? Like when I was out at LACC, watched a couple guys hit out of the rough on one, and they pretty much pulled their club before they even saw the ball.
Yeah, you're gonna walk up to some shots and just ask for a wedge. There is no option.
Right.
It's just a matter of which wedge. It's going to be 54 or a pitching wedge. But you're just no option. There's no way you're getting to the green, and you just have to like try to get it back in the fairway, like I said, and then just get up and down from wherever you are, however far away that is.
So in terms of what you're working on wedge wise, I'm sure the greens are pretty firm. Are you working on flighting them a little bit higher? Like I know you probably mess around with trajectory more than anybody, but what specifically for a US Open would you be focusing on?
So far, these greens haven't been crazy firm, so I'm not too concerned about the spin. Out of the rough, you can't spin it, so that's going to be a problem. But out of the fairway, I feel like you'll be able to stop the ball, at least right now, the way the setup is. So I'm working more, probably hitting the window and hitting my yardage. That's kind of more of the. There's going to be a few where you actually might have to control the spin because of some slopes, little sections of the greens that you have to kind of flight it into. You could use some backstops and maybe pull it back. They're not like sucking back, but you could use the slope to have it just feed back to the hole. So if you're able to manage your yardage and get it into those hillsides a little bit, you'll be able to get some shots close to the hole. That's kind of what I'm visualizing and working on. And like I said, I probably won't hit too much. I'll mostly just hit little wedges here and a couple irons, couple drivers, and shut it down. That's kind of a little warm down for me. I mean, you probably don't hear too many people talking about like a warm down session on a driving range. Most people are warming up. They're playing the round and then they're going in to settle up bets and have a drink. They're not heading up to the range to hit a few shots afterwards, right? So, but in pro golf, and even out here with the guys who are over 50, you've got most of the guys who are out here kind of warming down. This is our last opportunity to kind of fine tune a few things. There's definitely guys searching for things. There's guys bending clubs, changing shafts. There's a lot of things going on where guys are trying to find whatever they can, right, to figure things out for tomorrow. But
leave no stone unturned, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can go too far with that, but also it's for me is I get a little bit more comfortable each time I'm playing in one of these events. So playing this is my third up, and the first time I played, like I was out here all day, every day, doing everything. I was so excited to be here. It's just so much fun. You just take it all in, and now I'm trying to like manage my time a little bit better and my energy, and just get ready, right? Instead of just being happy to be here.
Right.
So we're actually starting.
I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'll tell you a quick funny story, some insider golf from my Cobra days. So you're talking about getting ready for a major last minute. I was at Augusta. Maybe this is probably 2019, somewhere in there, and I was on the tour truck, the Cobra's truck, and basically it was the Bryson show the entire day, trying to get him ready for the tournament. And he's pretty infamously a tinker, but he uses these huge Jumbo Max grips, which are pretty unique to him. I'm pretty sure he's like the only guy that uses them.
Yeah, I would agree.
But he decided to change to like a smaller size, maybe 12 hours before his tee time.
Oh, wow.
Like brand new set, everything was totally new. And I was like, really? You're going to change? Like, I would imagine that's probably the hardest thing to change is a grip size before a tournament. especially for a guy that's as particular as him.
Yeah,
But that's definitely going a little too far, in my opinion.
Yeah, but golfers were kind of nuts that way. I can tell you that I sat here on the driving range yesterday and was convinced I was going to play a 10-degree loft on my driver. And I hit 2 drives on the golf course, and I immediately broke out the wrench and shut it back down to 9 degrees. And then I came back to the range afterwards, and I brought it back to 10. And then I was convinced to back to 9. And then today I started again at 9, and by the second hole I went back to 10. So same thing, right? I'm still tinkering and trying to figure it out. Lie angles.
Always trying to improve, for sure.
Yeah, and just trying to find the right shape and shot that works for this golf course. I'll probably change again next week based on what that course is. So, anyway, I'm not surprised Bryson did that. And there are some guys they kind of live in the tour truck every week, and they're changing grips and bending stuff. And some guys. So just hitting a few 9-irons here, and then I'll ramp up to a couple drivers, and I'll probably be done.
Swing's looking good.
Yeah, good. It's starting to get a little windier here than normal. So I'll show you. There we go. We got so they always do commemorative head covers here. So I've been using the Ping driver. So Ping, I don't know if you can see that, but Ping kind of gave us a new little commemorative driver. It's red, white, blue.
Very cool.
Number 1. Nothing on that side.
Nice.
He does little putter. I usually, assuming I use this putter all year long, I'll rock the head cover all year long. It's kind of a nice little thing to have as the USGA kind of commemorative thing. It's kind of cool.
Right. Did they?
Good.
They didn't give you the full bag either?
No.
Didn't want to go full USA?
Did not get the full bag. There are guys with it. So this is the new Ping driver. I cut down a half an inch. So now it's 44 3/4. I ramped it up to 10 degrees of loft. And like I said, just trying to have something that just flies, not as far this week, but finds a few more fairways.
Well, watching you play ever since I was a little kid, we've always known that you have an extra gear that you can reach into whenever it's necessary. So I'm sure you'll be pulling that out whenever you need it.
Yeah, if you need it out here, there's a few holes you might have to do a little bit of carry. And plus, once you get in the tournament, as you know, if you get going, maybe a little adrenaline, you just naturally swing faster anyway. So hopefully just try to keep it smooth and steady and straight.
Yep.
Go from there. That's my goal here this week.
What kind of ball flight you're producing with that? Still the little fade?
Yeah, I'm trying to have that as a go-to, but with the extra loft, it's a little easier to turn over. So I know I got right the wind on this driving range right now too. So.
All right, H, we'll let you finish up your range session. I do appreciate the time. We're going to show a couple of clips from the holes we played on the course.
Yep.
And I think we're all rooting for you, buddy. So bring home the W. I can't wait to drink out of that trophy. Yeah. I don't know what we'll figure out something good to put in there, but
something Irish.
Keep it up. Something Irish.
Yeah.
But keep it up. We'll be in touch as the week goes on, and then we'll do a little reaction video next week after you're holding the trophy.
You got it. Hit me up anytime. Thanks for your time, and have a good rest of the day.
All right. See you, H.
Okay. See you. Bye.
This has been Off the Collar, powered by Backswing Golf Events.